The Rock's life legitimately in danger. The best and worst of WWE SmackDown from London, John Cena changes his catchphrase. WWE Hall of Fame's newest addition is confusing. Jacob Fatu confirms what he is doing at WrestleMania 41. There's a major problem with the ongoing dissension between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. The WWE broke a hilarious record on SmackDown. CM Punk takes a dig at Vince McMahon. Roman Reigns confirms a WWE faction is dead. Let's dive right in. The best and worst of WWE SmackDown from London. WWE has started to wrap up its European tour as SmackDown took London by storm. Cody Rhodes opened the show and had a bro moment with his friend and mentor, Randy Orton. Orton claimed he'd be coming for the title once WrestleMania concluded. Jimmy Uso beat The Miz in a predictable match. The Secret Hervis, Alba Fire and Piper Niven, won over Katana Chance and Caden Carter. Luckily, the trio was not overpowered by Zelina Vega after the match. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns signed the contract for their non-title triple threat match at WrestleMania. What worked and what didn't? Here's the best and worst of SmackDown from London. Number 1. Best. Rey Fenix rises on next week's SmackDown in Chicago. After a few weeks of cryptic teasers, Rey Fenix will officially debut for WWE on next week's episode of SmackDown. The vignettes revealed more and more each week, but the latest offering showed his face and name. Keeping him on SmackDown while his brother Penta is on Raw is a smart move so that both stars can establish themselves individually. There was also more to the other vignette as a voice spoke as the smoke swirled across the screen. The blue brand is getting much more intriguing on the road to WrestleMania. Number 2. Best. Naomi cuts the best promo of her career. She may be one of the most respected veterans in WWE, but Naomi was never known for her promo skills. After a poorly acted segment revealing herself as Jade Cargill's attacker to Bianca Belair, that changed with a pre-taped vignette. Naomi explained that she's always done the right thing, but felt replaced once Jade Cargill arrived in WWE. She showed her emotions, which felt more authentic than her exchange with the EST. Naomi also attacked B-Fab and Mission for cozying up to Cargill later at night. Number 3. Worst. Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre's formulaic nature. Randy Orton tangled up with Drew McIntyre after both interrupted Cody Rhodes to open SmackDown. McIntyre ultimately won after Kevin Owens walked down to take Orton's focus away from the match. The problem was that nothing stood out in a showdown between two former WWE champions. The Viper wrestles the exact match every time, regardless of the opponent. It felt like he came out twice during SmackDown so the live crowd could sing along to his entrance music. That's great for the live crowd, but not so much for anyone else watching from home. Even though he won, the Scottish Warrior couldn't celebrate with a pint since Damian Priest chokeslammed him through a convertible's windshield. Number 4. Best and worst. The Dark Prophets beat Pretty Deadly, with Elton Prince and Kit Wilson holding the spot as first challengers to the newly crowned WWE Tag Team Champs, the Street Profits. The odds of a title swap were very low. Having the match in London on SmackDown was nice for Pretty Deadly to get a spotlight in front of their home country. Both teams broke out several impressive tandem moves. The strange aspect is Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins' new attitude. Are they heels now since they changed their look and music? Are they tweeners or faces? They still dance like good guys. A change of entrance and appearance usually accompanies a heel or face turn. This turn would have made more sense had it happened when it was teased with Bobby Lashley a while back. Number 5. Best. CM Punk finally gets his WrestleMania main event. Roman Reigns' main offering was saying he came to London for 2 reasons: to be acknowledged and to sign the contract. Since his obligations were completed, he was ready to leave. Seth Rollins called him out for that and trolled Paul Heyman since the Wiseman gleefully sang along with the crowd for his tribal chief. He also claimed he'd have to clean up Roman's mess since he didn't get rid of Punk at War Games. Punk mocked Roman's obligations by saying Roddy Piper's famous bubblegum line. Reigns also tried to rush Punk, but got the most time of all 3 men. Rollins was mad that the contract said the 3 men would main event WrestleMania. The tribal chief took credit for Punk finally achieving his dream, and the best in the world's emotion showed during the segment. Punk, however, left after saying the main event slot wasn't the favor he was owed. Number 6. Worst. The Queen and Michin are in a tough spot. After Naomi attacked Michin, she and Charlotte Flair were in a lose-lose situation on SmackDown. On paper, WWE would never book Flair to lose to Michin. It felt like a filler match to give the Queen a win. With Naomi's pre-match attack, it would have made sense if Flair easily won. It still would have been disappointing had Flair quickly dispatched her opponent. Despite being assaulted, Michin also put up more of a fight than B-Fab. The pairing was fine for what it was, but Tiffany Stratton only showed up backstage following the match instead of getting physical. Her promo was much better than most of Flair's, as she mocked how the Queen talks over everyone and has more to lose at WrestleMania 41. Number 7. Best and worst. repeating a finish from Raw. LA Knight defended the United States Championship against Braun Strowman, but most fans knew it wouldn't end cleanly. Jacob Fatu made sure of that. After the megastar and the monster of all monsters traded blows, Fatu interjected to cause a disqualification. He easily took both stars out and walked out on top. Backstage, he also told Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga that he would bring the US title to his family, with or without them. It sets the stage for a multi-person match at WrestleMania 41. The strange part is that WWE used the exact booking tactic from Raw. Judgment Day's interference broke up Penta and Braun Breaker's Intercontinental Championship match. It made sense in the context of the feud, but bookers need to devise different ways to end matches on SmackDown instead of copying and pasting from Raw. John Cena changes his catchphrase. John Cena has been a heel for nearly 3 weeks now, and it's still difficult to process. He shocked the world by aligning with The Rock and attacking Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber. Ever since then, Cena has gradually become darker over time. The 16-time world champion continues to wear the same attire he always has, but there is something different. Eagle-eyed viewers have pointed out a change to his "You Can't See Me" catchphrase. The slogan on John Cena's cap usually features a red slash over the C to signify that we can't see him. This has been the case until very recently. On this week's episode of Raw from Glasgow, the C on the WWE Legend's cap was placed over the red slash. This translated to "You Can See Me." This was also seen in Cena's Glasgow exclusive merchandise, with the yellow C being placed in front of a red slash. While the change was subtle, it is significant. He did hint at it when he said he hated the invisible jokes. It remains to be seen how much more John Cena will change as WrestleMania 41 approaches. He has promised to ruin wrestling by winning the undisputed WWE Championship from Cody Rhodes and retiring with the title. WWE Hall of Fame's newest addition is confusing. The WWE Hall of Fame will see a new category added in April. The company recently announced the induction of iconic moments and matches to one of pro wrestling's most exclusive clubs. During a recent episode of Bro Down on Sportskeeda WrestleBinge, Vince Russo reacted to WWE's latest Hall of Fame announcement featuring the induction of a WrestleMania classic. "I don't understand the logic behind the moments. I'm just curious. Are they going to be any entertainment moments? Is Steve Austin driving a beer truck into the arena? Is that a moment? Or does the moment have to be a match?" He continued. And again, why is this, Mac? Why is this? Because they'll get somebody to sponsor it and they'll make another payday on, "Hey, you want to sponsor the match of the year that's going into the Hall of Fame?" Boom. WrestleVotes recently provided an update on the WWE Hall of Fame's newest induction. The Wrestling Insider noted that the company's decision to induct the Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin WrestleMania 13 match had nothing to do with struggling ticket sales. Sources confirmed WWE's decision to induct the iconic Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret Hitman Hart WrestleMania 13 match into the Hall of Fame was made well before the event's underwhelming ticket sales. This was always part of the 2025 Hall of Fame plan. The 2025 WWE Hall of Fame ceremony takes place on April 18th at Fontainebleau, Las Vegas in Nevada. Jacob Fatu confirms what he is doing at WrestleMania 41. Jacob Fatu made a dominating appearance on the latest episode of SmackDown. He invaded the United States Championship match between LA Knight and Braun Strowman, launching a brutal attack on the latter. The Samoan werewolf decimated Strowman in the ring, unleashing havoc. He made it clear that he was not finished with the former Universal Champion. Following his attack, the 32-year-old got into a heated discussion with Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga backstage. During the exchange, Fatu made a bold statement that he would do whatever it took until only he or Strowman was left standing. The Samoan werewolf may have subtly teased that he would battle Braun Strowman in a last man standing match at WrestleMania 41. During his segment with Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu clearly mentioned that when it comes to Braun Strowman, he will be the last man standing. Using that exact phrase, that too just a few weeks ahead of WrestleMania 41, may not be just a coincidence. It seems to be a major indication that WWE is setting the stage for a last man standing showdown. Strowman and Fatu have been booked as two unhinged monsters in their feud. The last man standing match could serve as the perfect battleground to put an end to this chaotic rivalry. Besides, the company often drops such subtle hints like what transpired on SmackDown to tease the future of a particular feud. Despite having an interest in the United States Championship, Jacob Fatu boldly went only after Braun Strowman during his title match with LA Knight on SmackDown to put the big man on notice. The two behemoths were embroiled in an explosive feud a few weeks ago. However, the monster of all monsters was seemingly past this rivalry and was focused solely on winning the United States Championship from the megastar. And now, the Samoan werewolf's unprovoked attack has reignited this feud. The former Universal Champion will likely be out for revenge after this ambush in the following weeks. With WrestleMania 41 right around the corner, this angle might have subtly confirmed that the two stars are set to collide in Las Vegas. While talking about his plans for Braun Strowman, Jacob Fatu made an interesting gesture during the segment. He said he would take care of Strowman with or without his allies, Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. However, what raised eyebrows was how Fatu pointed at Tonga when saying with you and at Sikoa when saying without you, possibly hinting at tensions between him and the Street Champion. The Samoan werewolf may have subtly confirmed that he could betray Solo Sikoa at WrestleMania 41. Just when the Street Champion could think that Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga were by his side, they could turn on him and attack Sikoa. Tensions have already been simmering for weeks, and the show of shows could see a major chapter in the Bloodline saga. There's a major problem with the ongoing dissension between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. The tension has been growing every week between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, with WWE teasing the former taking over the heel faction from the former enforcer. However, wrestling veteran Vince Russo has a major problem with the storyline, as he noted that we have been watching the same segment every week. Jacob Fatu has been presented as a force to be reckoned with. While he was loyal to Solo Sikoa at first, things changed after the latter lost the Ula Fala to Roman Reigns. The duo have been at odds over the last week, with many expecting the Samoan werewolf to take over the faction. Speaking about the segment between the two on Sportskeeda WrestleBinge's Brodown, Vince Russo noted that WWE has not progressed the storyline in weeks, and we have seen the same interactions every Friday. Again, man, that video we saw tonight, how many times have we seen it already? People gotta understand that when you're writing a story, it's gotta keep escalating. They do this move in the same line for months and months and months. We saw that promo with Solo and Fatu, we've seen it 4 times before. The same exact promo. Many expected Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa to clash at WrestleMania 41. However, a match between the two could be unlikely with just 3 weeks left for the Showcase of Immortals. The WWE broke a hilarious record on SmackDown. Former WWE head writer Vince Russo criticized this week's SmackDown for a unique record. He was flabbergasted by wrestlers breaking down into tears during the show. It was an emotionally charged episode of SmackDown, just weeks away from WrestleMania. The show progressed through several storylines and ended with a bombshell contract signing segment featuring CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. This week on Brodown with host Mac Davis, Russo pointed out that WWE may have broken a record with 3 wrestlers coming to tears during the show. He mentioned that Cody got emotional, Naomi broke down during her segment, and finally, CM Punk was in tears after hearing he would headline Night 1 of WrestleMania. The veteran writer explained that it was not befitting a champion and questioned if fans ever saw all-time greats like Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson cry. We may have had a record, Mac, because we had 3 wrestlers cry in one show. I don't know if we've ever had 3 of them cry in one show. We've had them cry, but it's usually 1. But today, I think we actually set a record for wrestlers crying on a show. We had Naomi, we had Cody, and then we had CM Punk. Everybody's crying, man. How many times did you see Muhammad Ali cry? How many times did you see Mike Tyson cry? Unbelievable, man. WWE has one more show in Europe before they return to the US for WrestleMania. This coming Monday night, Raw will take place in London, England, with major stars appearing on the flagship show. CM Punk takes a dig at Vince McMahon. In 2023, CM Punk made his emphatic return to WWE. He discussed it on WWE's newest series, Stephanie's Places. While speaking about the same, he recently took a sly dig at Vince McMahon. Punk recently appeared on The Rich Eisen Show, where he discussed his role in the first episode of Stephanie's Places. As mentioned above, one of the major talking points of the episode was his return to WWE. Of course, this return came out of nowhere and resulted in a lot of fanfare. However, his actions were in stark contrast to what he had vowed years earlier when he had left, as he had claimed he would never return to the company. Recalling this, CM Punk claimed that you can never say never in this business and that life humbles you on occasion. However, he noted that neither side would have reached out about a return if the previous regime was still in charge of WWE. I can confidently say that if it was the same place that it was, with the same people in charge, yeah, I don't think either side would have really reached out. It never would have happened, claimed CM Punk. Considering the previous regime had Vince McMahon at the top, this could be viewed as a sly dig at the former WWE chairman. After all, McMahon did leave the company just a few days after Punk's return. The potential dig towards Vince McMahon aside, CM Punk is a WWE superstar, both now and for the foreseeable future. As for his future, the Second City Saint has a huge match ahead of him at WrestleMania 41, a match that recently made him break down in tears. Last night on WWE SmackDown, Punk made his presence felt in the O2 in London. He was there to officially sign the contract for his match with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 41, and that he did, without hesitation. Following the signing, Punk was informed by none other than his good friend Paul Heyman that he would finally achieve his dream of main eventing WrestleMania, which resulted in him becoming emotional. It was an incredible moment, and one that will undoubtedly go down in the history books. Now all that's left to do is wait for the fateful night when the best in the world performs in the main event on the grandest stage of them all. Roman Reigns confirms a WWE faction is dead. Roman Reigns has now confirmed that a WWE faction is dead, and they will not be reuniting. This comes as a huge blow to the fans who had been hoping for a different outcome. On WWE SmackDown this week, Reigns was accompanied by Paul Heyman when they made their way out to the ring for the signing of the WrestleMania 41 contract with Nick Aldis. The other two participants of the triple threat match, Seth Rollins and CM Punk, both made their presence felt as well, with all three stars cutting heated promos that left no doubt that there was no love lost between them. However, before Punk came out, Roman Reigns spoke to Seth Rollins, and he confirmed what fans had suspected for a while now, putting an end to any hope that the two may reunite as the Shield ever again. When he heard Seth Rollins talk about what they had done, Roman said that there was no we, and the we was now dead. He confirmed that there would be no reunion of the former friends and faction mates, even though they both are in WWE. He said that when it came to their work in the company, it had been only him who had been carrying it, and he was responsible for bringing them to where they are. "We died a long time ago. It's only been me. You've been here, but I've done all the work," Reigns said. The time for the faction has now passed. While nothing is ever certain in wrestling, this seemed to be the final nail in the coffin for the Shield. The Rock's life legitimately in danger. The Rock has now revealed that he was in a terrifying situation while flying last night. He has talked about the issue and mentioned being afraid for his life. The WWE star recently apologized on his social media for not being at the opening of the UFL game and talked about what happened. The Rock revealed that he had a scary incident with his plane. He faced some issues, and the pilot came to talk to him about it. He was told that they had to turn the plane around, as flying over water was unsafe. "Last night we had some issues with the plane. About 35 to 40 minutes into the flight, the pilot comes back to me. He gets down on one knee. He faces me, and face to face, and it's just me on the plane, just me and the crew. He says to me, 'Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry to inform you, but we cannot continue to fly over the ocean. We have a problem. We have to turn the plane around, and we have to land back at Hawaii. You have my word. I will land you back safely on the island.' And I so appreciate his demeanor. His name is Captain David," explained The Rock. The star, who recently helped John Cena turn heel, was told it was a hydraulics issue with overheating. Unfortunately, it could not be fixed in the air safely, especially with the computer informing them that flying was unsafe. He said that he appreciated God, the universe, and the crew. He explained to me what happened, and he said that it was a hydraulics issue with overheating. And he said to me, "There are some issues we can work out as we are in the air, and then there are some issues that we're not going to take a chance, especially over the ocean, and especially when the computer of the airplane is saying, 'Don't fly anymore over the ocean. You gotta get back on land.'" The Rock went on to talk about how everyone has experienced turbulence, and that there are times when people wonder if that is how they will lose their lives. He added that when the pilot came to talk to him and went back, he was left worried and asked the attendant for a drink. He said that when he was alone with his drink and hoping for the best, considering his mortality, he realized what was important in life and the worries and other things that didn't matter. We've all experienced turbulence on airplanes. Some of us, I'm sure, like me, like you guys, have experienced some really crazy turbulence where you're like, holy S, drinks are flying, luggage is flying, everything is going there, and you can't help but think, it's human nature, that man. Is this it? Is this how I check out? But when the pilot comes out and has a conversation with you, and he gets down on one knee, and then he goes back to the cockpit, the flight attendant, Karen, she was amazing. And when you're back there alone with your drink and thinking about this, and everything is crossed, hoping you make it back safely, you start to realize really quickly the S that is really important in life, and the S that does not matter. Last year, The Rock tried to help Roman Reigns win and defeat Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. He tried to convert him to his side ahead of this year's show, but failed. The Rock now has the challenge of helping John Cena win and defeat Rhodes to become the 17-time world champion.